I want to talk to you today about the right to keep and bear arms. You see, there's some things that we used to know, some things maybe that we took for granted, some things that those who created America understood to their core. You see, first and foremost, the right to keep and bear arms is a natural right, and it is essential to the preservation of all life and liberty. Samuel Adams wrote in 1772 that among the natural rights of the colonists are these: first, life; secondly, liberty; third, property, together with the right to protect and defend them in the best manner possible. Adams went on to explain that this is an individual right, stemming from the first law of nature, the duty of self-preservation. Those who would stand for the right to keep and bear arms do so with the interest of preserving life and liberty, not destroying it. Those who would support the right to keep and bear arms support the natural right and duty of self-preservation. They support the ability to defend life and liberty, not destroy it. They support the ability to defend life and liberty not just for themselves, but for their neighbors. They support freedom and just government. They support ensuring that our future has the ability to live in a government of the people and not be subjects of a government over the people. They keep and bear arms. They train in the skill of defense because they love their children, their families, and their neighbors, and want to defend the most precious gifts of life, sometimes even at their own expense. Now, there are two kinds of people who oppose the right to keep and bear arms. And those who oppose the right to keep and bear arms support the opposite of life and liberty. They support slavery. They support oppression. They support unjust government rule over the people, whether they realize it or not. Now, those who would ignorantly oppose the right to keep and bear arms do so because they've been convinced of one eternal error: that those in power respect the lives and liberties of the people to the point that they will defend them at their own expense. But there is nothing in history that would support that delusion of hope. History is ripe with one oracle of truth. When people are disarmed, they are inevitably enslaved. They are enslaved by the more powerful, the more able, or the more populated groups. Disarming the people has never freed the minority. As a matter of fact, in a society that is disarmed, it is the minority groups that first are converted to chattel. Slavery is not possible in a society where the people are well armed, well trained in the skill of defense, and full of the knowledge necessary to understand the value of life and liberty worth defending. Now, those who knowingly support disarming the people do so because they're power hungry, because they don't respect life, because they want to control and dominate life and liberty. They know just how to motivate the ignorant in society through the greatest human deception, the contrived necessity. They know how to control the powerless, corral the weak. They know how to convince a morally depleted population to organize and come against their own neighbors. They are those among us who endeavor to rob the innocent of their God-given rights to enrich and empower themselves at the expense of the most precious gifts of life and at the fatal cost of a free future. They care only about themselves. They're the ones who pass by a neighbor in need. They're the ones that demand a right to take life out of a feigned excuse derived from the most selfish center of mankind. They seek to rob, kill, and destroy life, liberty, and property. And they are the very spirit that has caused the institutions of slavery and despotism to rise throughout history. William Pitt the Younger said it best. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedom. It is the argument of tyrants, and it is the creed of slaves. There's a day when every American reflects on who they are, who they want to be, and takes the time to classify themselves. Are you a slave? Are you a tyrant? Or are you a freeman? If you've determined that you love your neighbor as yourself, you love your children, your family, you love life and liberty, that you want to remain a freeman, then the choice that follows is very simple. John Adams wrote, "Liberty must at all hazards be supported. We have a right to it derived from our Maker. But if we had not, our fathers have bought and purchased it for us at the expense of their ease, their estates, their pleasure, and their blood." So there's a few things that we have to do. First, we have to stand up to the tyrant. We have to declare our natural rights just like we did July 4th, 1776. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. That these are natural rights, being derived from nature, a gift to all of mankind, that they precede all government and all law, and all laws must conform to these natural rights, or they are no law at all. We have to tell the tyrant that we hold no ill will, that we love him and we pray peace. And because we love him, we're not going to allow him to enslave our neighbors, and we will not allow him to deny us and our future a right guaranteed by our Creator. Founding Mother Mercy Otis Warren made this plea: America stands armed with resolution and virtue, but still she recoils at the idea of drawing the sword against the nation from whence she derived her origin. Yet Britain, like an unnatural parent, is ready to plunge her dagger into the bosom of the affectionate offspring. May we not yet hope for a more lenient measure? You see, it won't be those who support liberty who pray violence. Those standing in defense of the right to keep and bear arms are armed, yes, with resolution and virtue, to defend life, not end it. To defend liberty, not destroy it. You see, it'll be those who have no respect for life, who hold no love for their brother, who love self more than life and liberty, the tyrants and the slaves, who bring violence to violent ends. These are the times that try men's souls, and these are the days where we make choices. And today we choose peace. Today we choose life, and today we choose liberty. And because we choose these things, we choose to defend our right to secure life, liberty, and property from those who would come to rob, steal, and destroy. Today we choose to stand in defense of the right to keep and bear arms. And today, if you find yourself in opposition to this essential right, if you find yourself thinking that it's necessary to deny us this essential right, or we must have someone in power control and disarm the people, then you've classified yourself as either the tyrant or the slave. If we're historically accurate, there's only one question that needs to be asked in every single gun control discussion. Do you trust that the people in power will never use the force of government to unjustly deprive you of your life, your liberty, or your property? Now, if the answer to that question is no, then the discussion is over. And now you finally know why we stand before you today and every day, armed with resolution and virtue to declare, 244 years ago, we said no more kings. And we're not about to change our minds now. Defending the life, liberty of our children and our future. That's why we're here today. God bless you guys.